It's here. It's back. God, has it been the longest 2 weeks ever. Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Part 2, Episode 7, overall Episode 19. So, before you guys get into this video, just know there may be some spoilers, but yeah, this is the kickoff of the Labyrinth arc, and this is gonna be huge. Big things will happen. We kind of have hints. If you've seen the trailer, you kind of have the notion of what's going to happen. But moving back a little bit, we're going to talk about last episode when Rudis and Man God were talking. What did Man God tell him? He went against his word, right? His mom, she is in a continent, and Paul wrote him a letter and said, "Hey, Rudy, we need your help. Come and help us." This is the thing that Man God was telling him. This is how you have ultimate happiness. You're gonna stay home. You're not gonna go save your mom, and you're gonna go sleep with Linnea or Bersuena. And I do not understand how that will help Rudy. We don't know still. But anyway, as you know, Rudy does the opposite. Starting off this episode, what happens is he's talking to Elise, and Elise is like, "I'll come with you." So he's basically telling everyone goodbye for most of the beginning of this episode. And this is where we're thinking this. Not that he thought, but we think this is what he's making us think. This journey is going to take like 2 years. So this would have been most of the season would have been just them traveling. No, this is what they do. He goes to Nanoshi. He tells her goodbye. And she's like, "Hey, here's some teleportation circle maps." And that's how they're going to get around. So instead of this trip taking like 2 years, it's going to take days. Not just like a couple days, not like a week, or like 90 something days, I believe. Some guy wrote in the comment section, so that was pretty cool about how many days it would actually pretty much take. Anyway, this trip starts off with him telling everyone goodbye yet again. Sylvie was absolutely in shambles, and I guess one of the things they were talking about, and I didn't think about it, it's like the cardinal sin to name your child before you leave, because that means you're never gonna come back. And yeah, that was Rudy's thing. He was like, "Oh, what if I name the child before I leave, just in case?" No, because they can't do that. That's like a cardinal sin. Anyway, they make it off, and they start using these teleportation circles. And I'm not gonna lie, it is very sus and odd. It's very much an oddity. Um, I guess in between the time, this is also another thing I've read from someone else that it actually took them like weeks in between certain teleportation stones. So that was kind of like really cool information I didn't think about or know, and I don't even think that's really shown here. So yeah, that was a cool detail that I was able to hear about. Moving on, there's like a little bit of a latency during the teleportation. Elise actually goes back to kind of like test it, and it took her quite a bit. During that, Rudy sees like this robe. I didn't really understand what that was about. Maybe I'm crazy, but she does come back, and she seems like okay. They're about to go out, and whenever they look out, it's actually like this like sandy land. It's like nothing we've seen before in this series. It's a desert. And yeah, it's just crazy because you can go out there and there's nothing and nothing forever. And then all at once you'll see like a city, you'll just see like a giant thing of water. I'm like, "Oh, is that like later on I'm like, is that a mirage?" But no, I guess there's like these towns, if you can call it that. I don't know what you call them. Cities, I guess is more likely what they're called. But you'll see these like random cities pop up out of nowhere, I guess, in this sandy, desolate desert area. But anyway, a lot of this episode is their adventure of just traveling. One of the coolest things that happen is we actually get to see this succubus monster. Rudy's actually in a tent with Elise. I think it's a tent. And he's fighting his urges. She's like the irresistible for Rudy if you think about it, because she throws herself at like every guy. But the thing about her is she doesn't want to sleep with Paul's son because of what Paul did to her. That's something previously in the series, and she talks about it off and on. But yeah, I don't know. But he ends up going out to, stop his urges because she says something about Cliff while she's sleeping. And there's like this woman. And I was like, what the heck? She was kind of like wearing skimpy outfit, kind of like a kind of trivial tribal, I guess is what I would say. And you can like see her legs kind of, and I guess that was like supposed to be like hot, considered hot. And Rudy kind of almost falls for her, and Elise out of nowhere jumps in front, and he's like, "It's a suck." She's like, "It's a succubus. Get control of yourself." And yeah, it just turns into this like giant demonic thing. It was really cool. They kill it. Boom. That's one of the things that gets killed. Throughout this, they go on their adventure. They encounter different types of monsters. In between it, they do go to the city and ask for directions. I'm guessing get supplies. And yeah, one of the final monsters that they do encounter on their way, making the journey they're journeying. All at once, this griffin comes out of nowhere, and then there's another griffin. Elise has to stand off. Rudy has to stand off. There for a minute, I was like, dang, Rudy's about to hit her with one of those sickles. You know how he's those projectiles, and they're like cone shaped? Yeah, I thought he was about to hit Elise with one. But then I'm like, after he doesn't hit her, I'm like, yeah, he's just got really good aim. Elise has battle experience, so she shouldn't get hit. More or less, that's where this is going. They're just traveling, doing their thing. Rise and grind, gamers. And I'm excited. We get to continue on and see them just keep going and coasting on. I love this episode and I'm happy. I can't wait to see the consequences of what Rudy's has done. Also, if you didn't know, that teleportation is illegal, and if they get caught, they can be in some serious trouble. So that was something that people need to think about, but I don't think it will happen. At least, I don't think. That's what I think. Um, Series is phenomenal. This is my rating, okay? I give it a nice, solid 8. I think they started it off really well. They gave it enough to open up and continue on giving. Um, as far as things go, the animation, they're working with what they got, and I understand it. The battles weren't insane, but this isn't where your budget should be rocked out at. Because we have episodes upcoming that are clearly going to need it probably than others. And I have not read anything here. I've only reread the beginning of the entire series. That's it. Do not know what's coming ahead, but we can kind of guess. Do you guys think that what Rudy did will be his downfall? No spoilers in the comments, but that is my question of this episode. Anyway, guys, I hope you stay safe and peace.